Now a tank at last, I hear. This tank that's coming on now, this is a tank that the German army made after World War II. And if you've seen in the displays inside, you can see all those bigger vehicles that Germany made at the end of the war, like the Tiger, the King Tiger, the Jagdtiger, the Panther. But this isn't like that.
Give us hearing loss.
When the German army was allowed to make a tank again, they started designing one at the end of the 1950s. They said, no, we're not going to build a tank again like we did in the Second World War. A big, ponderous, heavy tank with a big gun on, with not much mobility. We're going to go the other way. They decided to make a relatively light tank. They got a really good gun. That gun on this tank is actually a British gun. It's something called the L7 105mm gun. If you go, the blokes in the audience remember the Centurion tank, some guys had a dinky toy of it. That's the same gun that's on this tank. We sold it to the Germans, we sold it to the Americans. Tremendously powerful gun. But what the Germans were really clever at, they made this tank very, very fast and mobile. Now, when the Leopard first came into service with the German army in the 1960s, its relatively thin armour, that speed that whopping great big MTU diesel engine gave the vehicle, meant it was mobile. It could do things like this. This is what they call a neutral turn. One track goes one way, one track goes the other way. So you can see, you can't do that in your car, you shouldn't do that in your car. This is a very quick and mobile vehicle. Made a nice hole in our track there, thanks for that. But you can see again, very, very mobile vehicle. And what they did in the German army, where they were really clever, is as time went on, they added more armour protection to this tank, but they kept the mobility up. So they kept that speed, they kept that manoeuvrability on the battlefield. They put an even bigger gun on in later years, and lots of countries bought the Leopard. Now those of you with sharp eyes, you might see on the side of the turret, this one's got a leaf on the side of the turret, that's a maple leaf. This particular Leopard tank was actually used by the Canadian Army. And the Canadians, we love telling this story, the Canadians decided back in the early 2000s, we don't want tanks anymore, they're all old hat, aren't they? So they got rid of all their Leopard tanks. And at the Tank Museum, we put up our hands and said, can we have a couple? And they really nicely gave us 2 tanks. The Canadians then went off to fight in Afghanistan and very quickly realised they did still need tanks and went off and bought another load. So the end of the tank is always predicted. It always seems to be soldiering on into the future. So this particular good tank, luckily they didn't last very long. It saw a lot of service with the Canadian Army, and we're very grateful to them for giving this one to us.